the strength of the Yankee team is now no longer a strength. And you also have Giancarlo Stanton, who's out for no one knows how long. So he just had his third PRP injection in both of his elbows. It's reported today he's going to get 2 more PRP injections in each elbow. He's not even close to coming back. And he said that it's a really, really painful injury. So the guy who's supposed to step up and protect Judge is probably out for a while. And that's the best case scenario. When I say a while, leaving a while wide open. So I don't know how to make you feel better about things. Because I was the one, and it's so funny, people on social media are either trolls or really stupid. Because there were some people going back and forth about these injuries, and one guy, I'm never going to give him the dignity of saying his handle on the air. Well, Michael Kay said it's the best team in baseball. Best team in the American League. We'll be fine. Michael Kay said that when Garrett Cole was healthy, when Louis Heel was healthy, and when Stanton was healthy. Because no matter how much Yankee boy nonsense you want to put on my plate, I'm never going to lie to you. I thought the Yankees had a really, really nice road to get back to the World Series. And then when you're in the World Series, anything could happen, no matter who you play. And I thought when everybody was healthy, the way the team was built, the way they pivoted from Soto, that they were, in fact, the best team in the American League. Now, I think they're a playoff team. But whether they're the best team in the American League, I'm not feeling that. I don't even know if they're the best team in the American League East right now. I'm not trying to scare anybody or depress anybody as you head toward the season. But you can make the argument that the Red Sox have gotten a lot better. The Orioles last year, although the Yankees had a great season, they finished just 3 games out. Now, the Orioles are a little short on starting pitching as well, and Grayson Rodriguez is going to start the season on the IL, so that's a concern. But they got a youthful team. They've got a lot of depth in their minor league system. What the Yankees have done is their depth was used for trades for Soto. A lot of the trades they made, they used their depth. That's what depth is for. So now they've got to rebuild their depth. So when you look at their starting pitching now, their depth is starting. Stroman was considered a luxury. He's the number 3 starter. Will Warren was supposed to start the season in AAA. He's your number 5 starter. Carlos Carrasco, you kind of scratch your head and go, why'd they sign him? Now he might make the team. And Alan Winans, a non-roster invitee, he's in the mix. So if anybody told you that when you went into spring training, you'd say, well, that doesn't look good. I'm going to be honest, it doesn't look good right now. So you got the Orioles, you got the Red Sox, you got an interesting Toronto team that didn't get everything they wanted in free agency and in trade. But you know what? They made some nice additions. Hoffman in the bullpen, Santander. Not bad. They got at least another year of Guerrero. They got a pretty decent pitching staff as well. Never discount Tampa Bay, ever. They're always going to surprise. Always going to surprise. So that's a tough division. You're playing every single one of those teams 13 times. So if you're a Yankee fan, there's no way, if you're honest with yourself, that you feel great about what's happening. I don't want to be all doom and gloom. You know, Max Fried has to step up and be the pitcher that he has been before. Carlos Rodon had great moments last year. Then had a little fallow period as well. He's got to be good all year. You know, you expect a good first half out of Marcus Stroman, and Clark Schmidt has to stay healthy, and Will Warren has to continue to be the pitcher he was in spring training and not the guy that he was last year. A lot of ifs, man. A lot of ifs. I'm sorry. I'm not a negative Nelly. That's not my way. Maybe it is, but I'm usually, to some point, giving you something to be optimistic about. But unless you're totally pie in the sky. There is absolutely no way that you could think losing Garrett Cole for the whole season is a good thing. Now let's dig a little bit more into the Garrett Cole situation. Remember, he opted out for about 12 hours. He opted out. Now, the Yankees had to know something, because think about it, just adding one more year to his contract, what would be the big deal? And they automatically said no. So I think that Garrett Cole loves being a Yankee, but he also has Scott Boras as an agent, and Scott said, well, let's test them. And they automatically said no, go and you could be a free agent. So they have detailed analysis of what was going on with his elbow last year. So once he opted out, they said, okay, we're not giving you that year. You're going to be a free agent. The very next day, he said, I'm opting back in. So it does make you wonder, if he was going to go out on the free agent market and try to sign a big free agent deal, you know what was going to happen? They're going to do extensive tests on that elbow. Any team that wanted to sign him. Maybe he didn't want those tests done. Maybe he didn't like what they were going to see there. So he opted back in. Now, I don't know the nuances of opting out and opting back in, but I do wonder, once he opted out, could the Yankees have said, no, we're not allowing you to opt back in? I keep hearing different stories, but the one story I hear the most is that once he opted back in, they had no choice but to accept him back in. Because once he opted out, or Boras opted out, if they really thought there was a problem with it and they could have gotten rid of the contract by saying, okay, we're done, that would have saved them $36 million. They could have gone out and got other pitchers. And that's why the main pivot that they had when Soto signed with the Mets was to go out and get Max Fried and give him all the money. Because everybody said, well, they gave him too many years. And even at the time, I said, of course it's too many years. But if you're going to be rational in free agency, you're never going to get anybody. So they gave him probably 2 more years than they wanted to, because there were teams out there who were going to give him 7 or 8 years. And he's had some injury history as well. It's happening all around baseball. So if you're a Yankee fan, don't feel so sorry for yourself where it's like, oh, why does it always happen to us? Well, the Mets had 2 of their starting pitchers go down. I just told you about the Orioles with Grayson Rodriguez. He's gone down. The Yankees have had 2 guys gone down. Now, Louis Heel, if it is just a lat strain, which they've run many tests and they said it's just a lat strain, he should be back at some time this year. But if it's Garrett Cole and it's Tommy John, you're not going to see Garrett Cole until May or June of next year. It's a huge blow. Not only is he a great pitcher, but you know what? He's a leader of the team. He's one of the leaders of the team. Really tough. It's not good. It's not good, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it is. Now, obviously, we are monitoring everything happening with football. You can start signing guys on Wednesday, and the thought process right now is, you could do illegal tampering. So we know all the signings that's happened so far, but we're waiting on the Jets and the Giants, especially the quarterback situation. We'll monitor that. We'll talk about more about that in the 2 o'clock hour, with Rodgers now all of a sudden having many more options than just the Giants. And I love what I'm hearing, too. Well, Rodgers probably wants to stay with the Giants because he has a home in New Jersey. Are you kidding me? I love that reading the tea leaves nonsense. Like back when Peyton Manning was a free agent with the Colts. Well, he's got a home that he owns in Miami, so he's going to sign with the Dolphins. Like, these guys can't afford to buy homes anywhere? They could buy a home anywhere. You really think that Aaron Rodgers is going to sign with the Giants because he has a house in New Jersey? Are you kidding me? Wherever he goes, he's got almost $200 million he's worth. He could buy a house wherever he goes. He could buy a beautiful home in Pittsburgh if he wanted to. I don't think that's going to be the deciding factor. The deciding factor for Aaron Rodgers is, what's my best chance to get the stink of the Jet season off of me? Where can I win some games and go out riding high rather than riding low? I think the most poetic thing that could happen, though, is if he ends up with the Minnesota Vikings. So he goes the same route as Brett Favre. And they didn't get along that great. So he does the same exact thing that Brett Favre did. 1-800-919-3776. That's the number. We want to hear from you. It's time for you to be the co-host. Again, 1-800-919-3776. Let's start off with Raul in Harrisburg. Raul. Hello, Raul.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Yes.
What do you got?
Oh, I already said it. I want to talk about.
You're on the air now, Raul, so tell me.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Michael. I had the app on. What's going on?
Well, not too much.
It was confusing because it was muted. So I had to tell your screener or the producer that I can't listen to you.
All right, so now you're listening to me. Tell me what you want to say.
You got it, Mike. Listen, Mike, my thing is, a lot of people right now are blaming medical staff and medical problems in baseball. It's not just happening with the Yankees, right? It can happen to any team at any point, right? So my question to you, did Cole got injured during the spring, or did it happen, or did it build up last year and he didn't want to say nothing, just like you said on the air 15 minutes ago? You know what I mean? It sounds fishy to me, but here's an issue that we can fix if it's the Yankees. There was a report out there that Dylan Cease is available for the Padres. I don't know if that's true or not, but if it is, it's an emergency hack for the Yankees. I just want to know what you think about that and if it's legit.
Well, I think that for a while there,
you
got it. For a while there, the Padres were looking to trade Cease or Michael King. So I'm sure the Yankees will explore all avenues. But remember, the Yankees are now a desperate buyer. So everybody's going to try to hold them up. Everybody's going to want George Lombard Jr. Everybody's going to want Jason Dominguez. These are the things that people are going to ask for. You know, the one player that intrigues me the most is Sandy Alcantara of the Marlins, who missed last year because of Tommy John. He's looked great in spring training. He signed a very affordable contract for the next 2 years and 2 more option years after that. And the Marlins aren't going anywhere, so they're going to want to get a really unbelievable package. And I'm sorry, the Yankees have to decide, how desperate are we? Are we good enough to make the playoffs the way we are, or are we giving up George Lombard Jr.? Now, this guy, they think, is going to be an absolute star. So you've got to weigh desperation with necessity. Can they make the playoffs the way they are presently constituted? The American League is not that strong. So I think they can make the playoffs even without Cole, even without Heel, even without Stanton. But can they win a World Series or get through playoff rounds? I don't know if they can. Now, the one positive of the Cole injury is if he is out for the year, they have insurance on that contract. They do. So they will be able to recoup some of that money and maybe then reroute it and spend it somewhere else. But the people that are remaining on the free agent market, like, you know, Lance Lynn, do you really want Lance Lynn? Is he that much of a different than Will Warren? Those are the things that you have to think of.